Okay, so I was dealing with someone who is posturing and using a stiff arm. Let's look at the opposite scenario. So let's just say Matthew, it could be here doing the same stuff again. Maybe he's got that stiff arm. So I've done my classic breaking his posture grip. I get the cross grip, okay, 4 fingers. Left comes underneath. As I pull with my knees, I pop the grip and actually get Matthew down to this head and arm position. Okay. So again, you know, this is not a great position. I could be opening up the lapel from here and starting to work cross grips and things like that there. He knows he doesn't want to be here. So the first hand, the one that's holding his head, just puts a thumb inside, and that will be opposite his left ear. The second one has the overhook in the arm. Now the second, Matthew's going to have 2 reactions. He's either going to stay in this position and try to hide his head, or he's going to try and posture and build the base. He cannot posture while I'm controlling this, so he'll be fighting tooth and nail to free that arm. And when he does, there's my first grip coming in. Again, 4 fingers inside, making that connection with the back of my hand against his right jugular. And now, as he builds his base to posture, he just loop this over the head. So there is your classic over grip. So it's just that. And now, like we talked about, I turn that elbow in, and then I curl my wrist. So it's just that. So again, one more time on that. Broke him down. I've got a classic head and arm position. Thumb on the inside, opposite the ear, and control the arm. The minute he pulls that out, my right hand comes in, and then I just loop it over his head. And now it's just the curl of the wrist. Let's look at the scenario where you get people, they know you're going for the cross choke, and they're keeping their head really low. So let's just say Matthew's head was down here, and I had the initial first grip, right? And then I'm here. Okay, and I'm trying to get my arm over to get that over grip, but he's just keeping his head burrowed here in my chest here. It's not going to happen. How do I manage that? So, back to the start again. So you break him down, I get head and arm control, there's the initial grip again. So this time he's just kind of hugging me, and he's not actually posturing or doing anything, so I just let go of the arm, and I can slide my hand into his collar. If there's no space and he's got a really fat face and there's no space, a little bump, just a little hip bump, will get that connection that I need. Now the problem is his head. I can't get my left arm rotated over his head. So all I'm going to do is create space. I keep my guard closed and I hip bump him. I just engage my hips. Now watch what happens to this head. It will move up. The second it moves up, my right hand keeps it there. When I bump it, bro, try to bring it back. It's made a wedge, and now I'm in, and I just curl again. So, one more time on that. He's made that initial grip. I broke him down. I've head and arm, thumb beside the ear. If he, I can distract him with things. If I can't get into the collar, I'm going to start working the lapel here. He's going to be, trying to stop all that. So now my first hand's in. Now he knows I'm looking for the cross choke, and he's keeping his head burrowed in my chest. So I just bump my hip and I'm in. The second I bump my hip, it's hard to see this visually, the minute I bump my hip, he's just coming down again. So as I bump my hip, my wedge is there. My right elbow's connected to my hip. Alright? So it's made a frame. So he actually, when I create the space, bring your head back, it keeps it there, and then I just loop this over, and now it's the turn of the wrist. If that isn't getting it, elbows coming back, pulling with my knees, engaging my hips. So that's how to get the cross choke on someone who you've broken their posture and they're trying to hide the head.